Hey guys, how you doing? Quick little stream this morning. Let me just check the audio. Hey guys, how you doing? Sounds good. It sounds good. Actually, I'm going to post this stream into the Facebook group today, which I forgot yesterday. Copy. 1 second. We got one viewer. Hey, hello out there. Just a little quick stream today. We don't have any more drop news just yet. Groups, Poseidon. So we have a Poseidon Racing Facebook group. The link is in the description below if you're not already part of it. All right, posted in the group. G'day Martin, how you doing? How you doing? We got Martin, we got Trillionaires, like the name. Love the Facebook group. Yeah, it's a nice chill group, lots of good information, and I'm going to start setting up some really cool resources. You can use the group file system to sort of save all these really great resources, like all the Zed tools, yeah, all the different things we can use to make life easier. Put them all in one place, so they're all in the Facebook group. Hey Randall, how you doing? Yeah, Discord is pretty crowded, pretty crazy. I am enjoying not being on there, to be honest. It was often pretty good, and there was times it was very stressful, so it's much better not being on there. Busy getting ETH together for Friday. Yeah, mate. Martin, what are you looking to get? I've got my ETH ready to go. I set up another friend last night, got him ready to go too. He's very nervous. It's his first horse drop, and he's rather concerned that he's going to miss out altogether. We hope that's not the case, but it may be the case for some people. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. Hit the entry fee. Come on, entry fee. All right. Just probably a quick one here. Let's have a chat about a few things. You can drop some questions in. 2 Z2s, Trillionaires. Oh, sorry, 2 Z7s you've written there. Sounds good. Sounds good. I hope you get those. So we do have a drop coming on Friday, as we saw yesterday in yesterday's video. Friday in Pacific Standard Time. Okay, I'm assuming it's going to be Friday afternoon, evening, Pacific Standard Time. We don't know, that hasn't been confirmed yet, which would put it in at about AM, 8 AM, 9 AM, Saturday morning for us here in Australia. Now that hasn't been confirmed yet. And if I look over here at the Zed Run website, it's still saying sold out, is it? It'd be funny if the horses just suddenly popped up, wouldn't it? Well, there's a different screen now, but I thought I was expecting a countdown. Guys, this is what we're seeing now on the marketplace page. So it's like all the grey horses are rendering. I don't expect them to just pop up, but it would be funny if it just populated with all colourful horses while we were on stream. Wouldn't that cause a panic buying? Just boom, boom, boom. I'd probably do quite well because I'd be the first person to see it. Well, with all of you guys there too. So the details, we don't know a lot. Friday, Pacific Standard Time. We don't know how many horses. We don't know the prices. We've got a fair gauge on prices. The prices will likely be somewhere between Z10s around 150 to 200 US dollars, and then coming up through the 9s, 8s, 7s, all scaling through to the Z1s being at about $16,000 to $20,000, I would guess. I was just watching Doofy over on his Twitch channel, just auctioned a Z1. Not the greatest Z1 in the world. Had 7 races, couple of seconds, 1/3, and it went for, when I tuned out, it was up to 10.5 Ethereum. So still big money, big interest in the Z1s and across the entire Genesis range, I would suggest. Morning, Heroine's back. What time is it over there? Heroine. Morning, Jamie. G'day, Mark. It would be nice if they gave us a little bit more info so we knew what was going on, Mark. Absolutely. What do I reckon for a Z3 or 4? Oh, I can't remember what they were last time, to be perfectly honest. Let me see if I got a bit of a gauge here. I can't remember what the last drop was. I've got this drop a couple ago. Let me see. I pasted it to my brother. Let me just go back to that message. That message, where is he? Hang on a second. Okay, so the Z34s, was that the question? Yeah, Z34s. 2 drops ago, you were looking at about between 2,700 and 4,000. Now that jumped up a little bit. It was probably at about 4.5 for a Z3 last drop. I'm not sure exactly, but somewhere around about there. So I would suggest it's probably about 5 for a 3 and maybe 3.5 for a 4. If I had to have a punt, somewhere around about there. 7:30 a.m. Beautiful, mate. It's not too early. That's all right. That's all right. 9:30 here. Yeah, Martin. Okay. So yeah, maybe around that 5,000 for a 3, a little bit less than that for a 4. So yeah, we don't have all that much information. It's coming up pretty quickly too. So they're saying it's going to be Friday. It's now Thursday here in Australia, and I assume in the USA Pacific Standard Time it is now Wednesday evening. Oh, Raymond's hearing rumours this could be an auction format. Interesting. That would be very cool. That would be very cool indeed, wouldn't it? If it's just all auction and it goes for like 24 hours, 48 hours. Wow, that would be very interesting to see what the unraced, unbred brand new Z1s go for, and then what the unraced, unbred, Z10s might go for. It'd be interesting. That would be cool. Yeah, auction would be sweet. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that, and I would imagine it would be difficult to set up. And I don't know if they would take the gamble on setting up a brand new system. Given that the last few drops have been rather buggy themselves, maybe they feel like an auction system would be less sort of traffic, less intense on the servers, maybe. Monica, it wouldn't be good. You don't like the auction system. It would guarantee you would get a horse if you were willing to pay the top price. That's good. I'm not sure. Look, I think the fair market price, I don't know what that would be. Yeah, I think the Atari's Trillion will be auctioned, absolutely. I think the Atari's will be auctioned. And I think they'll go for crazy amounts of money. What do we think? A Z1. So the announcement that we got several months back now was that there was going to be, for the Ataris, we don't know much more about the drop, unfortunately. As soon as I do, I'll jump back on and do a live, whether that's this afternoon, tomorrow morning, or whenever. Okay, but we know it's coming, so keep your eye on that marketplace page for a countdown clock. Fingers crossed they're going to have a countdown clock. Yeah, Monica, that's fair enough too. You don't want to break the bank for a new horse. It all depends on how many Z10s they drop, to be honest. If they drop 4,000 of them, then the auctions are going to be very, very reasonable if they finish within 24 hours, I think. But if they drop 1,000 or 500, then they might go a little bit higher. So anyway, it is what it is. We'll do our best once we get the information, and then we'll do our best to get the horses. Hopefully you guys can get the horses at the price that you want them for. That would be ideal. I would imagine a few people are going to miss out, but I think if you're on the ball and you're ready to go right at the start, look, I don't think we've got 45,000 roughly Discord members. I don't think you're going to see anywhere near that trying to buy at the, opening bell. I don't think so. I think you might have, if I had to guess on the number of people online at that specific point, I would think maybe 7,000, 8,000, maybe 10. Could be wrong. I'm probably way off. It'll probably be 20 or 25 or 30. But anyway, we'll see. Reading the blog community page written years ago said the first 10k would be sold and the rest auctioned. I wouldn't take that as gospel, Mark. It's probably 1 or 2 years old now, and things tend to change. So, and they haven't been updated. So, look, it might happen, but I wouldn't assume that's going to be the case. Raymond saw a stable with 274 horses in it. Yep, they'll be there as well. I mean, that's how the decentralized nature of the blockchain works. Regardless of how many horses you've got the same chance of getting one as someone who's got none. And look, from a beginner perspective, that if you've got no horses, it might sound a bit rough, but from a completely neutral perspective, I think it's fair game. It's fair game. Mark, yep, I'll be in the market. I'll be looking to get as many as I can, just like everyone else pretty much. So, and look, I'm not going to lie and say that I'm sitting out and doing this and that. I think the drop prices generally are considerably undervalued in comparison to the market. So I intend on buying more. I mean, it's just value for money in my opinion at this point. Not financial advice, right? Got it? I will try and get horses at every level, Raymond. I absolutely will. I did last time and I managed to only get, look, the higher levels are probably, well, last time they were easier. Z1s and 2s because there was 150 of each. And look, there's not a lot of people going for those. There's not a lot of people going for those. So, but there won't be that many this time around, I don't think. So the demand up high for the Z1s and 2s could be just as high as down at the 10s this time. But last time I got I got 4 Z2s, and then I didn't get any 3s and 4s, clicking away madly, nothing. And then when the 5, 6, 7s came up, I got 1, 6. That was it. And I tried to get many, many more. And then the 8s, 9s, 10s, nothing. Nothing. I got a whole bunch of rejected transactions and horses were sold and this and that. So unfortunately, but g'day Tyler. But I was very happy to get those 4 Z2s, although there wasn't really any good ones in there, to be honest. Was there? Can't remember who I got. I got some cool names. I got Obi-Wan. O-B-1. Yeah, Obi-Wan. Just O-B-1. So I thought that was cool for Star Wars fans. So I did like that. And then I got one called B-O-B, which is pretty cool. And I got one called Wasabi. I like that one too. So I got some really cool names. They had some great names last drop. Yeah, Mike, Friday is the word. Friday is the word. So Friday Pacific Standard Time in the USA, I believe. We will keep your eye on the Discord, keep your eye on my Facebook group. If you haven't joined, jump in there and we'll be filtering the news in. Keep your eye on this channel, subscribe. As soon as I get word and details, I'll jump on and let everyone know. You want to get if you haven't as yet, you want to get your MetaMask set up, you want to get your Zed stable set up, and you want to get your Ethereum into your MetaMask and then transfer it via the Zed wallet into your Zed wrapped ETH wallet. Okay, that is the word I'm getting. That the horses will be on Matic, minted on Matic, no gas fees, absolutely awesome, and it's just fastest fingers first. But we're hearing some rumours this morning that it might be an auction system. I should have made another cup of tea. I'm out of tea. What's up, Steve? What's up? Good to have you here. All right. Okay, Chris from Zed was saying, and I think this is great. Chris from Zed was saying they want to onboard as many new stables as possible this drop. Now, what does that point to? That could point to that they're going to drop, a big chunk of horses in one go, to stop, or not to stop, but to distribute over a more wider range, okay? They might try and say, maybe that's why the details aren't coming out. They might say 10 minutes before or 2 minutes before that you're only allowed 1 horse per wallet. That would be interesting and maybe stop people preparing 10 wallets or 20 wallets. But to be honest, the sneaky guys and girls out there will get their 1 horse and then they'll generate a new wallet, transfer some ETH in and do it again. So there's always, you know, there's always people that are going to go around and find the little creases and exploit those creases. So it will be really interesting. An auction system, in that case, is probably not the best, because you're going to have the big whales saying, well, I'm willing to pay a little bit more than you, you know, a little bit more than a beginner. I would have loved to have seen, as we spoke about yesterday, I wish I had messaged the Zed team 3 or 4 weeks ago on this. I would love to see a blind drop where you can't see the horses, much like we can see on the screen here, for example. Who knows, maybe we are, where all the horses are greyed out, you don't know the colour, you don't know the name, and it just says, you know, here it would say some information like, buy a horse for 0.25 Ethereum, and you will get a randomly assigned Z1, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for your 0.25 Ethereum. So every single horse they drop is 0.25, and when it's minted, turns up in your stable and you're like, yes, I got a Z1. You know, that sort of lotto system where it's just unreal excitement, and, you know, you could buy 10 horses, you could, who knows? That would have been cool. Maybe they're doing it. Maybe they are. What else could it be? How else could they maybe do it so that more beginners get the nod? I don't think in a decentralized platform they're going to do any form of blocking stables with X amount of horses. I don't think that would be the case. And again, those big stables, I generally know enough about the crypto system to get around that, and will just generate a new stable anyway. So what else could they do for the beginners to get in? The other thing that I think would be handy is if they drop all the horses at once. Whatever they're dropping this time around, put them all on the marketplace at once, because last time it favoured the whales, to be honest. And I think, it felt like they did that on purpose. It felt like there were some big wigs that had some sway. I doubt this is the case, but this is what it felt like. It felt like there were some big whales that, you know, wanted to get a few horses, and they left that opportunity somewhat open by bracketing off the horses. So the Z1s and 2s were dropped at, like, let's say 8 a.m, and then the Z3s and 4s were dropped at 8:30 a.m, and the 5, 6, 7s were at 9, and then another half an hour, the 8s, 9s, 10s, which allowed those with a bit more Ethereum to buy a 1 or a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and an 8. But what happened was, when we got down to the 8s, 9s, 10s, where the beginners, you know, are really, really interested, or there's more of a beginner interest down that level, then all the big guys were down there buying as well. So it became absolutely hectic. And I was in there buying too, but I didn't even get one. But so, you know, I understand a lot of beginners didn't get one either, which, yeah, that sucks. Look, as much as I'm saying that I want to buy as well, and I'd like to buy as many as I can, I also want the beginners to be able to get the horses they want. And look, to be honest, I had a lot of horses. I had about 50 Z10s, and when this game started blowing up, I was selling them for like under market price. I was selling them, let's say the Z10s at that point were $100 US. I was selling them at like $80, $70. These are ones that I'd run and thought were not that great, but those same horses would now be going for $500, $600 for sure, maybe even more. And even my better ones I was selling at sort of 0.2, 0.3. You know, they'd be worth 2 ETH now, those ones. So, you know, I'm pretty fair when I sell, that's for sure. I don't know that I'll be selling what I get on the drop though. Maybe. All right, let's have a look at some of these questions and then we'll have a chat. I want to talk a little bit about something that I would love to see come into Zed. I think it's way off in the future, but something that I would like to see that makes them more interesting and more collectible. Lucky Jack watching 2 devices, double the views. Are you watching Doofy's auction? Great result, 10.5 ETH. I think it might have gone higher. I left a little early, but 10.5 ETH for his Z1. Big money still out there for those Genesis horses. Raymond, you want to be first on the email list? So if you don't know, Raymond's saying he wants to be first on the Poseidon horse bred drop. When I breed, I'm going to breed about 70 horses, 80 horses from, and keep in mind, my stables are Q-rated races. All right, I've probably got 80 horses. I would say 6 of them are not much chop. The rest of them are really nice races. So I have a email list. If you go to poseidonracing.run, click on the offspring sales, jump on the email list for advance notice. There will be 80 horses going out to that list early, and I'm going to try and make sure that they sell out super quick by keeping the prices rather, at a very, very good level with a little bit of meat on the bone so that you guys can do rather well, or even flip them if you want. Okay. Yeah, thanks Raymond. Give us a thumbs up. We got 43. This is a nice little stream, guys. We got 43 today. That's pretty epic. Hit the sub button if you haven't already. We do this rather regularly. And hit the like button. We do the like button as a form of entry fee. It's your little 20 cents, or put your quarter in the machine as you enter the door. If there's not a like's worth of value in the stream, then you can take your quarter back out as we close the stream if you like, or you can switch it to a down thumbs, either. Tatsushi, no, that doesn't sound like I got that one right. Tatsuoshi, I'm going to go with that. I'm not very good at pronouncing names. I'm sorry if I got that completely wrong. If you get a Z8 Genesis, would you recommend racing it? Interesting question. Interesting question. It depends a little bit on how many other horses you have, in my opinion. Look, if I only had one Z8 and that was it for the time being, and my budget didn't allow me to necessarily buy too many more, then I might leave it unraced, because if you've got 10 or 20 Z8s, then you can race them all and you're probably reasonably likely to have something decent that you'll be pretty excited about. But if you've got one, then there's a high likelihood that that won't be a very good horse, and you might ruin the experience a little bit. So you might want to leave that unraced, breed it a few times, sell some offspring, maybe buy a couple more Z8s, 9s or 10s as the opportunity arises. And then once you have a little bit of a stable going, then you can maybe start racing them. I mean, from a perspective of only having one horse and then race it, and it's sort of $30 odds or $40 odds, that would kind of be deflating, I think, wouldn't it? So I might sort of leave those ones unraced until you build that stable up a little bit, would be what I would be thinking, for sure. Yeah, Jamie says he might not buy at the drop and save ETH for the offspring. Look, as much as I want everyone to spend lots of money buying my offspring, I think the Genesis, you can't go past the Genesis for, look, not financial advice, but I don't think you can go past the Genesis horses as long-term investment type horses, because once again, this is just my opinion. Do your own research, all that jibber jab. But what's going to happen with those Genesis horses as we breed more and more and more, and this is particularly appropriate for Z1s. Now, I know that not everyone's looking at Z1s, but let's talk about all the Genesis first of all. There's 38,000 or something like that. I think it's 38,000. Now, in 6 months' time, we may well have we might hit our $1 million horses, not $1 million horses in value, but have $1 million, rewind, we might have 1 million horses in the ecosystem is what I'm trying to spit out. Okay, so once there's more and more breeding going on and we've got 1 million horses in the entire Z ecosystem, then those 38,000 Genesis are only going to represent, what's that, 0.5%? 0.5%. So rarity, on a rarity level, those Genesis are going to get rarer and rarer and rarer and rarer as the horse numbers get higher and higher and higher. Okay, you'll always be able to breed another Z2 Legend or another Z20 exclusive, but you won't be able to regenerate another Genesis. So as much as I want everyone to spend all their money on my horses and sell them out really, really quick, don't rule out the Genesis this weekend or this Friday when they drop, because of that reason. Now, when you think about Z1s, I think that what we were just talking about, the rarity level of Z1s, is even more interesting because not only can you not reproduce another Genesis, but you cannot reproduce another Z1. All right? There'll be never any more than 1,000 Z1s. Now, when it comes to Z2s, for example, there'll never be any more than 1,000 Z2 Genesis, but you can keep creating Z2 Legends. Okay, so the Z2 line, if you don't discriminate whether or not they're Genesis or Legends, will get bigger and bigger and bigger. But as far as like spotting a Z1 in the wild, you know, that will be very, very, very rare as we get more and more horses in the ecosystem, because there will only be ever 1,000 Z1s ever. Z2s will increase, even though there'll only ever be 1,000 Z2 Genesis, there'll be more and more Legends sort of coming into that Z2 range. Now, if that kind of makes sense, the Z2 Genesis will always be valuable, but the fact that there'll only ever be 1,000 Z1s of any variety is really, really interesting to me. As always, do your own research. But I do like the Genesis moving forward. It sold for 8. Interesting, Monkhouse. The higher bidders disappeared. It was kind of fishy at when it jumped from, I think, 7 to 10. I thought, oh, that's a bit fishy. That's a bit weird. And then when someone whacked at 10.5, I sort of came back and thought, oh, maybe this is sort of back in the range now. I thought maybe it was back on at that level, but yeah, they both dropped back out. So 8's still a very, very good price for that particular horse. What's that? We're at 3,500, so we're at 24. Is that 28,000 USD? I think it is. That's, you know, that puts it right up there. And look, it wasn't the greatest mare. It's a Z1, and I've just explained why I think Z1s will continue to be very much so sought after. But that's big dollars for a mare that didn't look to have the greatest racing potential. All right, but it just shows you what, if we can get Z1s unraced, unbred on Friday, what are they going to be worth after the drop? If that went for 8 ETH, you got to think 12. You got to think 12, 15, 20. Who knows? Who knows? It's interesting, isn't it? When you look at the NFT ecosystem, you've got CryptoPunks selling for 20 to 30 to 40, up to 100 Ethereum. What we haven't seen in the Zed system to a degree yet, and this will, I don't know when this is going to come, but it'll be exciting times when it does. We haven't seen one of those super rare key horses sell for $1 million, and I think that's coming. You generally see these projects. We saw Meebits launch a couple of days ago, those little avatar type things, and one of those sold for $1 million only a couple of hours after the launch. You know, we've seen F1 Delta pieces sell for $1 million. We've seen CryptoPunks $1 million. We've seen art sell for multi-millions. And cryptos go for multi-millions as well. Have we seen Bored Apes go for $1 million? Probably. Oh, I don't know that we have, to be honest. Maybe we have. I don't know. But let's see. That's coming for Zed Run 2, I think. I think that will come. Which horse it will be? Look, I think Billions is the rarest horse in the game. It's a one of one colour. It's a Z1. It's a male. It's got strong racing ability and strong breeding ability. I think that puts it at the, you know, if we were forming a betting market on which horse would go sell for $1 million, I think it would be Billions. Behind Billions, I kind of like my horse Satoshi. I've got a Nakamoto breed, Z1 in the super rarest colour, which is Stronghold Ivory, which is a colour rating of 4. And it's called Satoshi. Satoshi Nakamoto breed. I kind of like that one as on the second line of betting. Billions is up here. Down here you got Satoshi and a few others. Okay, and I'm only purely I'm not talking about racing ability, I'm talking about collectability. Why do I think Satoshi could be up there as one of the rarest horses? Well, the name, number one, Satoshi. Number two, it is a Z1, the rarest Z number. It is a Nakamoto, the rarest breed type, or bloodline, sorry, the rarest bloodline. And it is a Genesis, which is the rarest breed type, or will be the rarest breed type. And it is the rarest colour of the standard colours. It's not as rare as Billions, but it is a super rare and the rarest super rare. So who knows? Maybe I'll sell it for cheaper than that, but we'll see. Yeah, Raymond, interesting. I think you're the same. So let's have a look at these questions now. 53 viewers, we're hitting record territory. I don't even know what the record is, but I think we're probably getting close to 800 subs. Hit the sub button. See if we can overtake Doofy. He's on about 900. We'll see. Come on, Team Poseidon, let's do it. No, I'm not too fussed about overtaking Doofy. In fact, rather than worrying about overtaking Doofy, type in Doofy Racing in YouTube after this and go and sub to Doofy as well. He's got great content and he's a great guy to boot. All right, let's have a look. Let's have a look if I've missed any questions. Mark James likes a reservation system. Let's hope. You know, they said there would be no queue system, so I don't know that we're going to see that. Monica, the drop. You can jump on Zed Run Facebook page and they've got a little animation that says the drop is coming Friday. Is it the 7th? Yeah, tomorrow's the 7th. Friday the 7th of May, Pacific Standard Time. That's all we know currently. There might have been an update in the half an hour that we've been on air. Yeah, random drop like collector cards, I would love that too. You know, maybe, I don't think we're going to see that random type drop for this drop, but maybe we can message the developers and say, hey, this would be cool, let's do this. As long as there's, you know, it would be cool, as long as there's still 1 or 2 Genesis left, you could have 1 or 2 Genesis and 1 or 2 3s and 4s and, you know, down the line, and then have 1,000 9s or 10s or both or whatever. And as long as there's still a few up the top to sort of give you a chance at getting something great for 0.2 or 0.25 or something like that, or 0.3, then that'd be cool. And in actual fact, you know, rather than selling the Z10s at 0.05, because there's more Z10s left than anything else, by doing a lotto drop and increasing the price slightly to account for the Z1s, the random nature, there would actually be more financial incentive for the Z team doing it that way. So it's a win-win in my opinion. Yeah, I agree, Raymond. The Genesis are key. 8s, 9, 10s were impossible. I completely whooshed it, completely had a big air swing on the 8s, 9s, 10s last drop. Hopefully this drop, they drop a bunch more. Jason, new, appreciate anyone that could help. Got 50 in MetaMask, would that be enough? No, unfortunately, I don't think it will be currently. I think give it a couple of months and it will probably be enough to buy a bred horse. You know, once all the breeding fires up and everyone's breeding, I think you'll be able to get a horse for that eventually. But at the moment, it looks like $50. I don't know for sure, but it looks like 50 may not be enough, unfortunately. Based on the charts, probably above 100. Yeah, if I had to guess a price point for the 10s, I'm going to say $180, round about there. That's my guess. Sold for 8. Jordan, at this stage, they're telling us there's 38,000 Genesis and that's it. I can't see them backing back or reneging on that agreement. That would do some major damage to the confidence of the entire group. So I would say that's it. There's no need. We can all breed our own. This is one of the best features of Zed Run, is that you can breed, if you've got the right pieces of the puzzle, you can mint and make your own NFTs. NFT horses, race them, they can be champions. That is just, you can mint, make, breed, sell, race, breed again, your own NFTs. It's great. And yes, that will also have an impact on the aftermarket prices eventually when there's more horses than what the demand can suck up, which will force the low-end prices down to, who knows, maybe $10 or $20. But, you know, as long as you're breeding horses and the cost is only, if the minimum cost, well, the minimum cost I think at the moment might be, I don't know, when breeding opens it could be $50 or $100 to breed. But look, and I guess that might mean that we will flood the market and some horses will be sold at a loss initially, but then the breeders will smarten up and say, well, I'm only going to breed horses that I can sell for a profit, so I'm not going to breed this donkey with that donkey. I'm only going to breed this 10% winner with that 15% winner because I know that I can sell it for more than it costs to breed. Okay, so the market will balance itself at some stage, but there will be a little period where the market gets a little bit over enthusiastic, floods the market, and some horses will sell for a loss. Absolutely, I'm sure that's going to be the case. So be careful, be careful. Other than breeding, what feature would I want after the drop? The big one that I want is satellite tournaments. And what I mean by that, I think Zed Run can take a lot of inspiration for how poker runs their tournaments. So currently the system we've got is like the sit and go. If you've played poker, it's like the sit and go. You know, you fill up your 12 horse race, which in poker would be like filling up a 12-seat table. And then you sit down, you have the race, you go, and when you're done, the prize money is divvied up and it's just one race set up. What I'm looking forward to though is multi-table style horse racing. Okay, so multi-race style where you start with 32 or 64 or 128 races at say 1600 distance in class 4 or whatever, you know, something where there's a lot of demand. And you could just slowly fill all of those up. And then it's a knockout system whereby the bottom half of the field of each race, so let's start at 32 races. All those 32 races go and race. And then if your horse finishes 7th or below in any of those races, it's out. So that's half the field out. You narrow the field down to 16 races in the next round. Do the same again. If your horse finishes 7th or below, you're out. And then you've got 16 races on the next level, then 8, then 4, then 2, then the grand final. And the grand final would probably have money from 1st to 10th, okay? Because you're dealing with a pot of 32 times 12, 350 races or a bit more than that. I'm not going to do the exact calculation, but you get the idea. So there's 350 entry fees, then divvied up between the final 12 races. Did I say 10 before? I think I said 10, but I meant 12. So the whole 12 would get a divvy of that prize money. Obviously, first would get the larger chunk, and 12 would get, you know, something for getting there. And what I love about that format is it suits a completely different racing set of horses. Currently, the horses that are just absolutely dominating and winning the most prize money are your first, last style horse. So the horses that either finish first or last the majority of the time. And they're not very consistent, you know. They're not finishing first and then second and third and then first and then fourth and then third, you know, up in the top bit. They're going first, 8th, 12th, 6th, first, third, 10th, 11th, that kind of format. So those horses, you're going to have to really decide, okay, well, is it worthwhile entering? You know, it's going to be a lot of fun because the entry fee will probably be low and the prize money will be high. And there's a much more, I guess, random nature, but there's also a skill set in thinking, okay, which is the horse that I have, which is most likely to finish 6 and above 6 or 7 times in a row. You know, and it might just be a case of getting to the final rather than actually aiming to win the final. You know, if you've got a horse that can finish 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 6 or 7 times in a row, then just getting to the final is an absolutely incredible effort. And then if you're lucky enough to win it from there, well, awesome. So that's the main feature that I'm hoping they introduce shortly. We are hearing rumours that they're working on a tournament style system. I hope it's a knockout system like that. Pay your fees, pay your $1 entry, $1 entry. Pay your 1 like entry on your way in. Hit the like button if you could. I just skipped past a whole bunch of stuff, did I? Here we go. Yeah, if you're looking at names and colours, you might miss out. I'm just going to be clicking and just trying to buy whatever, essentially. Just pick whatever and go for it. Just go, go, go. If you know, I guess only have the money that you're willing to spend in your budget, because it'd be very easy just to spend your entire ETH budget, you know, just clicking, 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 clicking. Jordan, interesting question. Have I done any research on the breeding in thoroughbreds and does it correlate to Zed Run? I have done, and my hunch is that it does. It does. I'm going to do a video on that coming up, so make sure you subscribe for that, because it's a video that really outlines how I think this works in a really simplified manner. And I'm sure a lot of you watching that are going to be like light bulb, bing. Oh yeah, like I think you're going to agree that that is a very high likelihood of what's going on. Very interesting. It fits a lot of what's happening in the system so far. Okay, so make sure you sub to be a part of that. I'll probably wait on that for a couple of weeks. Maybe when breeding opens, we'll talk about that. Z7s, I don't know what they're going to be. If you ask on the Discord, that someone will tell you what the previous price was. Jacuzzi is here in the house. How are you? Yes, I do, Jacuzzi. I do think that the ETH price, the increase in ETH price is going to result in a lower ETH price per horse. Okay, because generally they have been using USD as the main gauge for horse pricing, and they've been increasing around about 10 to 20% per drop in USD, but ETH has gone up since last drop, I don't know, like considerably, maybe 60 or 80%. So I think Z1s, if you were to base purely on Ethereum, my hunch is they'll be cheaper or less Ethereum than what they were last drop. That's my hunch. Don't know. That's just what I think might happen. Vern, we were chatting yesterday. I wanted to buy your profile golden monkey off you yesterday, didn't I? If anyone's got a golden, oh, that's probably a real big sin, isn't it? Calling bored apes monkeys. That's probably taboo. Sorry, bored apes. I wanted to buy Vern's golden coat bored ape yesterday. I've still got my lookout for a golden coat. I think that would be really cool. Now I've just sent the golden coat floor up another Ethereum, have I? But if you got one, message me on Discord. Poseidon Racing. What is the rarest colour in Zed? Well, the rarest colour in Zed, that's easy. Currently it is Fortune, which is the billions colour. He is a 1 of 1. 1 of 1. That is the rarest and will always be the rarest, as far as I can tell. Following that, you've got Slate Grey. 4 in every 1,000 horses are slate grey. Well, sorry, that's not completely true. 4 in every 1,000 Genesis horses are supposed to be slate grey by the time they all list. And then you've also got, at the same level, is Stronghold Ivory, which is 4 per 1,000 Genesis also. So they're both level pegging. They're the ones. Peach Puff. I think, what's Peach Puff? I don't know, do I have the... Zed Run, if you Google Zed Run colours, you'll see the per 1,000 chart. I'm just bringing that up here. Let's have a look, guys and girls. In Australia, I just call everyone, hey guys, how you doing? But I know some people don't like, you know, to be called guys. That generally, Peach Puff is a 5. Here's the full chart here. So you can see you've got your super rares up here going from 4s to 6s. The moon colour slate grey and Stronghold Ivory are 4 per 1,000. Then you've got 5s in your Peach Puff, Corn Silk, Papaya Whip, Gainsborough. That's my favourite aesthetic colour. I just love it. It's kind of like Minecraft diamond colour. It's beautiful, that turquoisey blue green. Just stunning. Honeydew and Aggressive Azure. All right. Team Poseidon for life. Yeah, hit the sub. Let's catch up to Doofy. Let's overtake him. Another U-shaped horse. Yeah, mate, but they're not always going to be, you know, suiting every style of race. As we said, tournament style, we call them the V-shaped horses. Tournament style, they won't always probably suit a tournament, I don't think. You know, I don't know that the likes of Pink Man and Ducky Malin and Vanilla Bean and some of these other V-shaped horses are going to have enough consistency to get through a tournament style race. They could, of course, and if they make the final, we're probably all in trouble. But it'll be interesting nonetheless. You like Aggressive Azure? Yeah, it's a nice one too. As I said, I love Gainsborough. I think that's how you say it. Blind name and colour. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Nick? All right, we'll wrap these questions up and then we'll come back when we got some more information. Let's see what we got here. Any chance Z6 to 10s? Yeah, of course. Any bred horse can beat any other Genesis or horse for sure. That's the progression of this game. You could have a Z50 that's the best horse in the game. Now, it might be less likely that a Z50 is the best horse in the game than, say, a Z, Nakamoto bred 5 or 6. We don't know so far. I think Vanilla Bean is a Z10, 11. Oh, yeah, it's down there somewhere. It might have been a 9, bred with a 1. Made it a Z10 Legend, or I don't know. But it's, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, Nick, look, you can't please everyone with a lotto system, mate. Like, if some people are out at a quarter of an ETH and other people are in, but then you can't, but then they miss out on a horse because there's too much demand. Yeah, you can't. I mean, who knows? I think, my hunch is that they drop all the horses, the lot. I think they might drop the lot, everything, because I think they're spending a lot of time and a lot of resources on these drops. And if they just drop the lot and get it done with, then they can move on to game design and getting the breeding right and getting the class system better and a whole bunch of other things that they could divert all of those development resources to, rather than continually having the next drop to meet the next wave of demand. The demand keeps going up and the drops tend to be a bit buggy. Wouldn't surprise me if they just go, here's the lot, do your best. Once NAC, Zabos and Finnies sell out, Buterin prices should increase dramatically. Look, I don't know that that's going to be the case from a drop perspective. I think the prices will increase, maybe, or they should do, depending on what the market, where we're at with the NFT market and the Z market and whatnot. But once we sell all the Genesis and the drop's no longer there, and you've only got 1,000 Z1s, 2s, 3s and 4s individually, what does that do to the prices? Who knows? I would think they might go up. Not financial advice. When the market is full of thousands of options, a horse is set. Yeah, I absolutely agree. We're seeing some great websites, some Rarity style websites popping up for the likes of Bored Apes and CryptoPunks and some of these other, what are the other ones that are on that website? Chubbies, Meebits. Some Rarity websites that basically rank the individual NFTs against the other NFTs and give them a score and a ranking based on their rarity. Now, I'm hoping that someone's developing a similar setup for Zed Run that not only ranks them purely on collectability, based on colour, breed type, etc., bloodline, or name. Well, name will never be a thing because you can't get a robot to assess a name, I don't think. You'd have to, do that via vote system or something like that. But, at least on colour, breed type, or blood type, breed type, these kind of things, you could have a rarity scale. But you could also potentially have another website or the same website where it ranked the horses not only on rarity, but gave them a raceability or a breedability ranking as well, based on the fields that they were racing against and the amount of ETH that they'd won, or the average ETH or return on investment. Okay, that would really help as well. I'm sure that's coming. Don't know how long it'll take though. Bastian just joined the Facebook group this morning. Hey Bastian, how you doing? Drop question. I have a male horse with 2 races, 50% win, 50% place, 6 to 8 odds, free runs only. That sounds like a decent horse. Maybe not the greater. Well, you can't tell with these 6 to 8 odds until you put it in a paid race. And if it's still 6 to 8, you're doing very well. If it drifts out to 10, you're still doing very well. If it drifts out to 15, it's still good, but it's not, elite. And the question, should I try and buy 2 to 3 Z10s in the drop? All depends, or one Z6 or 7. It all depends on what the drop looks like, mate. And I think, look, I don't think I can offer you any advice either way on that. I think you could get lucky and get a really good Z6 or 7. Two Z10s might give you more of a chance of something. You know, you might not be able to, it depends how they set up the drop too. You know, if the Z and 6 and 7s come first, but you decide you want to go for a 10 or a few 10s, and then when the 10s come up and there's so much demand you can't get one, there's a risk involved there too. No, Steve, I'm not going to have a Discord. Steve asked, do I have my own Poseidon Discord? I'm not going to have one. I think the chaotic nature of how the stream works doesn't suit what I like. And you can't sort of, I love Facebook because someone answers a question and then their answers are directly tied to it in that thread. All right, and that's what I enjoy. I like that there's some structure. Discord is just chaotic, just da 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 da. And once it gets big, it just gets overrun and you don't see anything. So, no, I'm not going to have a Discord at this stage. Drop them all and be done with it. Nick's on board with that. Colton. Oh, okay, so Jay said yesterday they're not dropping all of the rest. Well, that could be read a couple of ways. I don't expect them to drop everything because I expect them to hold back 5% for promotional purposes. So we've got Atari coming up. Those Atari horses, I believe, are still going to be Genesis horses and in the Genesis count. So I would expect them to hold back about 5%, 3% for future promo purposes. You know, maybe we do a, who knows who might be next. We might do a Sandbox promo or a Decentraland promo or a Coinbase promo or Matic promo, you know, something like that. Did I miss one? Totally agree. Sit and go. Yeah, poker tournaments. That's what we've currently got, the sit and go style races where you just enter one race and you get a result. But the tournament would be awesome. And it also mixes up what you're looking for in a horse. You know, there's a lot of great horses. I've got a bunch of horses that are retired currently because they only finish between 4th and 8th all the time. And those type of horses could easily run 6 or better 8 or 10 times in a row. Easily. And I'd like something that suits those horses, and a tournament style would suit them. Raymond says Gold Fur is the Z1, the Z1 of the Bored Ape world. I think you're right. I think you're right. Again, if you're going into dipping your toe in the Bored Ape world, have a look around, do your own research, see where you think the project's going, and see if you like it. See if you think it's fun. I think it's kind of cool. But yeah, have a look yourself. All right, let's have a look. We're going to wrap this up shortly. It's been a great stream, 50 odd viewers. 36 have paid the entry fee by clicking the like button. There's a couple, I swear I'm getting a robot. I'm getting a robot to look and see who's paid the entry fee and just like tell me who to mute here. Or can I mute them? No, I don't know. Can I mute them? I'm only joking, sort of. Okay. All right. Hell dropped the ball. Jay said yesterday they're not. So if I own a top stallion, can people pay me a breeding fee? Absolutely. That's another element of the Zed Run ecosystem. There's so many different ways. You can breed it, your own offspring with your own mare, sell the offspring. You can put it in the stud farm for a fee and people will pay you that fee. You get 7 breeds a month. So it's like, do some research. Really go back to my older videos. Go back to the start. Watch them all. It'll take you a couple of weeks. It'll put you, you know, you can watch them before bed and you'll be ready to snooze after you watch them to some degree. Use them instead of sleeping pills. But no, go back. There's a lot of good info there and it will really give you a great grounding on how this works and where you can maybe find a niche to set your stable up and what to go for maybe. My stable is mainly Nakamoto based, so I'll be the go-to. I'm trying to be the go-to Nakamoto breeder, okay, which is a more of the high-end level, but let's see how that works out. G'day, Matt. Good evening, mate. Pricing for the drop we don't have yet. minting and then naming your own NFT. It's unreal. Yeah, there's cool names you can, in the future or maybe even now, you can probably name, make some money from naming your horse particular cool names that are desirable. What's up, Vert Style? Good to have you here. Haven't noticed your name around before, mate. Make sure you hit the sub button. Let's go. Yeah, Terra dropped for 10,000. I think that's a $2 favourite. 10,000. I think that's what's going to happen myself. I would like to see them drop closer to the lot, 20,000. But look, if they drop 10, I would assume that in 2 or 3 weeks they're going to drop the final 10, and then they'll just keep it roughly about 1,000 horses or so for promotions. I think that's, if I was a betting man, that would be where I would put my money. Have I heard of Archie Luxury? No, I haven't. NY Punter, is it good? Is it good? Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Give me a second. Archie. Am I spelling that wrong? Archie. It's not coming up, mate. I've got Archie, a Z7, but I don't know that one. Terra in Greek means monster. Yeah, funny enough you should mention that, Steve, because I Googled it as well and saw that it meant monster drop. So does that mean everything? I think 10,000 could be considered, given that I think we did 2,000 last time, so a 5x on numbers could be considered a monster drop. Do we have 2 10,000 drops? And that's roughly all she said. Or do we have one big 20,000 drop on Friday? We don't know yet. We don't know. NDK, no, there should not be any gas fees because we're now buying and minting on Matic, on the Matic Zed wallet, Zed Racing wallet. And again, ND, curious, what would I do? 1 Z5 or 3 7s? Look, if it was purely me, I've got a bunch of horses already, and if they were the 2 choices I was presented with, I would get 3 7s. I would. Louis, buying your first horse, how much should you put in your Zed wallet, mate? Don't spend what you're willing to lose. There's no guarantees on this project. We could strike, a big downfall for whatever reason. Who knows what happens? So whatever you're willing to lose, put it in there and have some fun. It's all about fun. Look at this as spending X dollars on entertainment because it's so much fun. Racing, discovering, breeding, naming, joining the community on the Facebook page in the description below, all that fun stuff, meeting new friends, having fun, breeding, it's great. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure. Cheapest horse you've got will probably be a Z10. I'm guessing they're going to be $150 to maybe $250 around that range. I mean, if you put in 250 and it's 275 and you can't get one, sorry, no guarantees. Don't come back. You're complaining that I told you it was 250 or 150 and it was actually 275. Yes, I'm just guessing. I'm guessing. Terra means Earth. Howdy, Colton. I haven't seen your name around before, so welcome. Hit the sub button if you are new. We do this very regularly. It's building up very nicely, guys. We've got huge numbers coming into Discord. 46 or 47,000. The YouTube channel here is picking up 50 odd subs a day. Thank you very much. It's incredible. It's going to go flying past my other channel, which I spent 4 or 5 years building up. It'll go flying past that in the next couple of months, I think. But it's good. It's fun. Ross, what gives me the impression they're going to drop most of the remaining horses when cadence has been much lower? I don't know. I don't know what cadence. I'm not smart enough to know what cadence is. I'm going to assume that it means previously. Let's keep the words simple when you're talking to me, asking questions. Everyone, there's a bit of a rule of thumb, but I can assume from the words around it that it means previously. Look, there's been some word that the devs want to move on to other things other than the drop. So there's that. Also the numbers being at like 46,000 in Discord, and I expect that probably about 10 or more thousand will join the drop. And I think that Zed, you know, to make sure that most people get a good opportunity to get a horse, then I think there's going to be at least 10,000 and maybe even as many as 20,000 dropped, I think. But we don't know. Maybe they drop 2,000, but I think 2,000 would be a horrible user experience because they're just going to be gone. And yeah, most people will miss out. Most will miss out. Do I put money on Zed Run website MetaMask? Paul, do I put the money on Zed Run website or MetaMask site? You got to put it in MetaMask, and then I'm pretty sure, 99% sure, you got to transfer it to your Zed Racing wallet. All right, there's a little wallet icon on your stable page. Click on that, and then transfer into your Zed Racing wallet. Now, again, I can't guarantee that is the case. That is what I'm hearing and what I'm being told. If you want confirmation, ask on the Zed Run Discord. Or ask direct message, or don't actually. No, I won't do that. But you know, tag Jay when you ask the question in the Discord, and he will answer that. CP, going to sell one of your kidneys now for a Z1. Now I'm not sure that's recommended, but you know, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Don't want funds stuck. Well, yeah. I mean, you got to get the funds in the right place, guys. And if you miss out completely, your funds are going to be sitting there in wrapped ETH in your racing wallet. They're not stuck. You know, if it's only a half drop, 10,000 drop, you can leave them there till the next drop. Or you can transfer them back out, but you'll have to pay a gas fee on the way back out to unwrap the ETH as well. Jacuzzi, I do have another channel. It is creative landscape photography based. It's called Adam Williams Creative. You can look that up. If anyone's into photography, go and check that out. You can give me a subscriber boost over there. I only post on there about once a week. You'll see the same backdrop. All right, you guys are crazy. Crazy, lots of questions. Okay, we're going to wrap this up now because I have an important meeting about breeding horses for a particular Zed Run user. And we're going to hopefully line up some high-end, a big bundle of high-end horses. So if you're interested in a big bundle of high-end horses, give me a yell, reach out to me, either via the website, PoseidonRacing.run, either via Poseidon Racing on Discord. I am on there, on the messages. I'm not on the Zed Discord, but you'll be able to find me via the direct messages or via the Facebook group, Poseidon Racing Zed Run on Facebook. Find the links below. Let's have a quick scan. Been watching videos non-stop. Oh, good on you, Jordan. Welcome, welcome. There's a lot of information, particularly you're best off, if anyone's brand new watching this now, go back and watch the videos from the start because it's me learning Zed Run. And to be honest, most of that information is very, very accurate in the way the game has panned out. Okay, so a lot of the thoughts I was thinking have come into fruition. Now, I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of what I was talking about doesn't need updating. So go back and watch from the start and you'll get a great idea of how to play this game. NDK, when purchasing a horse, is there a colour shade you tend to lean towards? I would just buy quickly as you can and not worry too much. If something grabs your eye, buy it. I tend to sort of scan super quick for a name that looks cool and then I'll click it. But that can also be a bit of a bad idea because if you're looking for cool names, then probably you know, if that name grabs your attention or that colour grabs your attention, then maybe it's more popular and more likely to be sold when you click on it. So that could be a very bad bit of advice to follow. 58 and going up. I saw we touched 60 odd, so that was pretty impressive, Steve. 60 odd viewers is around the record, I think. Yeah, you won't have time, NDK, I don't think, to mess around too much. Just go for it. Yeah, the entire ecosystem is moving to the Zed Run wallet, which is a Matic-based wrapped Ethereum wallet. Okay. Greg, the team has been that was on their fixed list to fix the way that the horses would render and scroll. All right, before it was really terrible. It was like freezing and you couldn't scroll down, and you know, there was horses available, but you couldn't scroll down and get them. I know, I was there. They're saying that the scrolling system is going to be fixed for this drop, so you should be able to just, I think they might draw, so last time they dropped them in brackets, 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, 4 brackets. I think they're going to drop them in one go, so the 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s in one go. There'll probably be a filter system to filter to the level of horse that you want to buy, and then just go for it. Joe, if you want to punt, is there $2 class one racing now? Good question. I'll give you a quick rundown on this as the final wrap up. Stick around because this will be an interesting little piece of knowledge. If you want to pump up your horse's stats, win and place percentage, do you just put it in $2 class 1 races every time? Every time you get out of the class. Oh, okay, slightly different perspective of what I think you were saying. So you're saying, do you just tank it to get back down to, say, class 5? Look, to be honest, the racing as it currently stands, you've got 4 and 5. Class 4 and 5 are super strong, in my opinion, because you're getting all of those extraordinarily inconsistent first-last horses down there. Then you got class 1 is extraordinarily strong as well, because you've got all the best horses progressing up to class 1 as well. So currently I think the weakest classes are 3 and 2, 2 and 3, because they're kind of a really interesting balance between not the V-shaped races and not the super consistent winners in class 2 and 3. So I like class 2 and 3s myself for entering. Now, as far as pumping win and place percentages, tanking I don't believe is the best. In fact, I think you can probably count on dropping your win percentage if you tank rather than, so enter a class 1 to drop yourself down. I think you'd be better off just selecting the best races possible. If you do want to pump your stats, I often enter my horses in free races. Now the way you see and they're very hard to get into because when they pop up, everyone's like, free race, and jumps in. The way you know a free race is about to pop up is one other free race just finishes. Let's have a quick look on that before we wrap up. Racing, next to run. Let me show you. Okay, that's a free race there. See the $6 pot? The $6, $5, $2.50 pots are free races. So when this one finishes, is it finished? Well, who knows, it might be stuck. When that one finishes, a new free race will pop up. Is there any free races currently? They pop up the top here, they don't last long. No, there's not. And it'll have a big yellow, here it will just say free, a big yellow banner. Okay. If we come back here, let's have a look. If we scroll down, we'll find a few more free ones. There's a free class 5, $2.47. When that one finishes in 10 minutes, it starts in 8. When it finishes in 10, that class 5 will regenerate another free race to enter. Okay, so you can pump stats that way, but most people are now aware of that. So it makes the horse look like it's got good stats, but it's a little bit weak. So hopefully Zeb will add another stat shortly, which is an ROI, return on investment stat, or a paid racing versus free racing split stat, or something that gives a little bit more idea on how strong that horse is in paid races. Because you could literally just race, you know, a Z1 in free races and it could be a 30% winner after 50 runs. But if you put it in paid racing, it could be 18 or 20 to 1, and it might not be, you know, as great as what it looks. Okay, so be a little bit aware of those little sneaky things. There's a lot of sneaky angles you can sort of choose to run to pump your stats. And look, you know, I'm looking for angles, and if my horse is not capable of winning paid Z1s, sure, I'll put it in the free Z1s. Absolutely, I will. I said that was the last question, didn't I? There's a few more. We'll try and race through these. If you're only to buy one Z10 to keep unraced, which would you prefer? Would I prefer unraced or raced? I would keep it unraced. Or are you saying, which would I prefer, male or female? If I only had one, I would prefer female. If I had multiple, I would prefer mostly males. We spoke about that in the previous video. We'll do another wrap up on why I would prefer mostly males over females. But if I only had one horse, I would get a female, because with one female, you can pay for the use of breeding with some of the public studs and build your stable up with more horses. Next drop is Friday, this coming Friday, Pacific Standard Time. That's all we know currently. Join the Zed Discord for more info, or join my Facebook group in the links in the description below, and I will let you know when we're going, when the drop is. And I will also go live as soon as I see more details. All right. More classes. I think the class system is being worked on currently. That's why I'm kind of thinking the devs might get the drops done with in the next month pretty quickly and get on to other things like class system. I don't know about credit cards, Victory, and wallets and payments. I'm not sure. I'm not the guy for that question. Okay, I answered that one, Paul. I got you. I got you before I even saw your question. Joe, thank you for the info. But if you want to race in class 3 or 4, you're saying you could just enter one race every time you get out of 3. Look, I don't do that. I think winning percentage is more important than tanking to get back down to class 3. So I would prefer to retire my horse than knock it back down classes and potentially ruin the win percentage. I would prefer to retire and wait for a different tournament setup that suits my horse. Luke, yeah, that's up to you. Look, if I had to choose over one Z5 or a Z10 and a few others, I would probably go for the multiple horse option myself. But yeah, do your own research on that one. Don't blindly follow me, because that's what I would do. But there are pluses and minuses for both. All right, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for watching along. Huge stream, 54 viewers, that's massive. 49 likes. If you haven't liked already, hit it now. Let's see if we can bump it up over the 54 before we close shop. But thank you guys. As soon as I get, oh, there's my notification of my upcoming meeting. So I got to leave you and join my Skype Zoom meeting. So let's 50-50 likes to viewers. You guys are legends. I will do a live stream as soon as I have the details of the drop in my hand. Keep your eye on the Zed Run. Keep your eye on the marketplace page. This one here, I'm assuming we're going to get a countdown timer there in the next 24 hours, hopefully. Other than that, stay tuned to the channel. Join my other social media channels. So join the Facebook group to stay up to date with everything. And we'll see you maybe this afternoon, maybe tomorrow morning, as soon as we have some more details. Thanks, guys and girls. We will see you next time. Bye for now.